Welcome to episode 396 of In Touch with iOS, the show that talks about iPhone, iPad, Apple Watch, Apple TV, Vision Pro, Mac, and related technologies. I'm your host, Dave Ginsburg, and we have our great panel here this week. Let's start off with Marty Gencius. How you doing, Marty? Thanks for being here.
It's Thursday. I feel great. I'm glad to be here and really glad to be here at your invitation, but with also all these cool people.
Absolutely. Speaking of cool people, Jill McKinley is here. How you doing, Jill?
Wow, I've never been described as cool before.
You
Well,
are
I am
cool.
excited to be with you all and to be here tonight, and I'm excited about it's almost Friday.
It is, and we've got a holiday coming up pretty soon here too. Also here, he's back. He was missing a few weeks with work travel, but Chuck Joyner is back. How you doing, Chuck?
Great, Dave. It's good to be back. I missed you guys.
Me too.
But yeah, there was a travel week, and then there was a concert week, and just those things happen.
It does. That's okay. That's great you're back. Also great that he's here is Eric Bolden. How you doing, Eric?
Good. Yeah, it's a nice day.
It
Got
is,
out for a bit, came back. The perfect end of the day.
Yeah, it was great to have it. It was a pretty nice day today. A little cloudy here, but it wasn't too bad. And of course, we always have the wonderful and exciting Jeff Gamet. How you doing, Jeff?
That was the nicest way of saying what I know you're really thinking, and I applaud your restraint. It's great to be here.
Yes, great to have you. So, plenty to talk about as always. We're going to go ahead and dive into all the stuff that's been going on as we get into close to the U.S. Thanksgiving holiday. But let's go ahead and just start right away and get into the In Touch with Vision Pro this week. First off, and it seems like beta, just discussing beta has just been boring for visionOS, honestly. We really haven't had much to talk about over the last few betas here, but they did release, which was interesting. They did release visionOS 26.2 beta 3 a few days after all the other betas that were released. So it looks like a couple known issues with AirDrop and game controller connections and such. And you, Marty, what did you see? And in fact, you just got some game controllers, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I got some game controllers, so anybody up for a good game of pickleball on a Vision Pro, I'm ready to go. We do our show on Monday nights. Of course, all the other betas came out Monday during the day, and as I predicted, the beta for visionOS would come out on Tuesday. And sure enough, not a lot there. Checking some of the notes and Reddit and such, people are saying that it fixed the developer's strap or the developer cable speed issue that had been a problem with the developer cable. And another person says that it looks like their ability to convert 2D to 3D pictures seems a little faster in the process.
Yeah.
So
so really not too much else to report. I know, Eric, you aren't on beta, so I won't bother you with the boring things that just you're not doing beta, and I don't probably blame you. But I also wanted to talk a little bit about, because Jill told us pre-show here that Jill and Eric got to hang out together since they do live not too far from each other. And she got to actually try the Vision Pro and the hands-on, a private a little training guide with Eric, and I would love to hear what your impressions are. I'm assuming did you do the demo at the Apple Store at one point, or was that the first time you did it?
I did it at the first time you did it at MacStock.
At MacStock, okay.
And there's a lot of people waiting, and so you don't want to take a lot of time because other people want to see it.
That's true.
And so I did get a little bit of looking at it. And so Eric invited me out towards his neck of the woods and bought me a lovely cup of cider and went through the demo. Luckily, my vision was fairly close to his, so I could see through the optical goggle things, and it worked just fine. And so he was, and Eric can speak for himself, but I think he wanted to see how he can do a great demo with people who haven't tried it before. And then I was just looking to see what it can do. And And he did a very nice tour of all the different things between looking at photos and looking at movies and trying apps. And then there was this girl who like had this horrible thing happen to her. And I saw that app. And so then I recovered with a little apple cider and then did the aircraft carrier bit. And I grew up on a military base, on an Air Force base. Yeah, there's a picture he showed in the show notes. And so it was great. We got a chance to talk a little bit about use cases too, because I think one of the biggest hurdles for me in it is what do you do with it? I sit in this control room of computers and, television. I have a whole big house and, when would I use this? And so we came up with some, good use cases of maybe I just don't want to sit at my desk all the time. And I thought that was actually one of the biggest things for me was what if I wanted to just be somewhere else in this house, sit out by my bay door, or, sit on my couch and do something else. So,
Excellent. So probably,
you have anything to add?
Yeah, go ahead, Eric. Go ahead. If you want to add anything, I bet it sounds like you had a really good time giving some teaching some things to Jill.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I've burned through a lot of friends saying, "Hey, I need to try this demo and see what works." And hey, can you do this again and do this again? So, Jill was more than willing to put in some time and be a guinea pig and give me feedback and not be totally irritated because I said, "Oh, try this and try this." So yeah, it was really helpful.
The most fun part was sticking things all over the walls and then watching the people in the coffee shop look at me like, what's she doing? And then I'm like, I can see you in through these goggles staring at me.
Yeah, that's right.
Just, walk up to some random wall and then peer through the window that's not there to everybody else. But, go for it.
Yeah. Like go into the side room and then go look at the back side of it. And so I'm like, looking at the side and the people at the coffee shop were like, what is she looking at?
Absolutely. So, it's great to hear. I'm glad that you told me about this. We got to share it with the audience. That was really cool to see. So, before we move on, I want to make sure I say hi to everybody in the chat at youtube.com/intouchwithios. Witherbucket is always joining us. We love you being with us every week here. Seems and Brian F made it in the chat, as well as Web Bixby. Thanks for all joining us. You can join us too at live where we usually record on 8 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Pacific, Thursday nights. So come join us. A couple more other things I wanted to mention on Vision Pro. Apple did announce all of the new the App Store Award finalists, and I specifically filtered down to Vision Pro. And this is actually, I don't know, guys, is this the first time that they've had an actual finalist for the Vision Pro apps? I don't remember them doing it last year.
They had they didn't. The only thing because I was curious about that too, because the stuff that I read about it, it's like, oh, it's great. Apple's finally recognizing Vision Pro. And I went back and saw that they had they had an app and a game that they seem to be singling out one instead of, in this case, three.
Yeah.
And it might have been the finalists that I saw. It might have been the chosen one of the finalists in each of the categories. But I do remember it and saw it and thought they've been recognizing it at least for a year.
Well, it's cool to see that Camo Studio is part of that. I love Camo Studio. They make such a great app. And I don't have either guys used Camo Studio on the Vision Pro? I haven't had too much experience using it.
No, I tried firing it up today to kind of look at it and being able to use your avatar, have that as a camera.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of cool. But
okay.
I hadn't done anything with it anywhere else.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure what to do with it after that.
Yeah, but interesting. It's a finalist. I would definitely say D-Day, the Camera Soldier, was really good. I really, really enjoyed that app, and how this was, if I remember correctly, it was a documentary about a person that was in D-Day, and they put their hours upon hours of great video footage and such, and made it to a pretty immersive experience on the Vision Pro. That was really good, and the Explore POV, which was the immersive video experiences. I didn't spend a lot of time in that app. Eric, did you use that quite a bit?
Yeah, I've used that off and on. They put out different free videos. So over time, you can try different things, and then of course you can subscribe to get some other ones. And it's kind of nice. It's generally really pretty high quality, uh, all over the world. So you get to see places you wouldn't normally get to.
Yeah.
For all of the people that think, well, Apple should do a lot more videos, this is a way to get more video that's immersive.
Yeah. And then real quick, I'll just mention the games. There was Fishing Heaven, Gears and Goo, and then Porta Hub Immersive Puzzles. And you guys, did you play any of those games? I don't remember playing too many of those games.
Oh, I'm a big Fishing Haven fan.
Okay.
Because on the Meta, one of the first, I'm not going to jump around the room and do all that stuff with a headset on, but on the Meta, it was nice to sit on the couch and just fish. And this is Apple's version of it with all the full high level beauty that you would imagine from an immersive environment. So yeah, for me, that's a chill app. That's just a great chill app.
Yeah. Okay.
I have to say, I have one on my Oculus and I love it. I don't know why, but it relaxes the heck out of me. And then I take the fish I catch and I slap them on the wall. So,
oh
wow, like Billy the talking fish, right?
Yeah, does it sing for you?
No, it puts it in a nice
singing
little
fish.
frame
Excuse
for
me.
Yeah, right. Puts it in a frame so I can put it on the wall, and so but I love fishing games. They're great.
Yeah, Jill, I think you and I are talking about, there's like 2 or 3 on the Meta, and one is kind of silly, but they're all meditative. They're all really nice.
Really good.
And Marty, you spent my money, which wasn't a lot. Oh my God, the price went down on it too. the case. This is a new battery holder that.
Oh boy, did it go down!
I know, it went half. Like holy crap. It's a little plastic case that goes around the battery pack. I had the D-band one with the clip. This actually has an neck strap with it as well, and it's plastic, nothing special. It's got a belt clip too. It's down to $8.48. I think I paid $15 for it. So, but link in the show notes here if you're looking for a nice battery case that is nice to be able to clip to your belt and not have to hold on to that battery.
Belkin makes the same device, the same case, little different kind of orientation in terms of how it hooks onto it for $50.
Yeah,
so this
there you
is
go.
A real good deal functionally. And it's always, what do I do with my battery when I'm walking around the house? Well, I hold it in my hand or I put it in my breast pocket, where if I bend over a little bit, it'll fall out.
Yeah.
So this is just, it's a nice thing to have.
Yeah. So
sorry, Jeff, what?
You need to get an iPhone Pocket. It'll be great for holding your battery.
Yeah. For $240. Yeah, that's right. Jill can knit you one. That's right. All right. Let's go on and move on to the beta this week. Beta did come out for everything else besides the visionOS, as we just talked about. Apple did see the third betas of iOS 26.2, as well as iPadOS 26.2 to developers, and the public beta was out as well. So that was released. Some of the things that are standing out, what's new in 26.2 includes AirDrop, as they added a new AirDrop functionality, providing a new way for 2 people to share files temporarily without having to add one as each other's contacts. So you can do a temporary AirDrop, which is great. That makes things a little easier. Hypertension notifications, according to the developer's notes, his notifications are now available for reading within a new API, and the app can request authorization to read notifications resulting from one hypertension notification feature in the Apple Watch. Some privacy changes. It's now you're going to be able to access your Apple account for the first time after installing iOS 26.2. You'll see an alert letting you know that your Apple's privacy information is for your Apple accounts have been updated for a better explanation and all on personal information. The side button, they're laying the groundwork for a new option that the iPhone users in Japan will be able to do a different default voice assistant. Liquid glass settings, a lot of discussion about this. I just spoke at a Mac user group, and everybody was talking a lot about, I want to tone down this liquid glass. So now I did demonstrate the tinted option that reduces the transparency, and there's a warning about the tinted option cannot be used in tandem with the reduce transparency or increase contrast accessibility settings, which makes sense because it's accessibilities. The game app's got some stuff, alarms and reminders you can add now, and then of course iPad OS 26.2 got some improved multitasking. So there's a pretty good amount of stuff that's come out with 26.2. It's looking that it's going to probably release to everybody within a few weeks. We're towards the end of November here as we record, and it's going to probably be, I would anticipate probably the first or second week of December. I bet this will get released. So it's ready for the Christmas season as far as that goes. As far as any other new features that we didn't call out, I think we've got other things, but I'm not going to go too much deeper into that. So we'll definitely be talking about it as things go along here. They did add something in what's new in multitasking, as I mentioned about the iPad. It's got an iPad OS 26.1 brought back the slide over because it was gone, and I know not everybody's overly excited about the slide over, but I think there was enough of a demand that they said, "Oh, we brought this back," for windowing, as well as you're going to have drag and drop multitasking functionality as well. So that's coming soon with the iPad. Jeff, any experience with the iPad with your latest beta install?
It's not remarkable, and that's a good thing. It's like everything that should be working seems to be. So I'm all about not exciting for these updates. Yeah.
Okay. Couple other things with beta. Apple released a beta firmware for the AirPods Pro 3. Again, firmware, you never know what they've installed, what they've updated, and there's no word yet about what that's going on. Interestingly enough, I noticed, if it does give you an option, it asks you, do you want to install this? Because especially if it knows you're on beta on an iPhone, that it actually triggers it, so it'll install it. So that was kind of a new thing I saw, because usually when you would add the beta, you would have to just all of a sudden show up. I got a little resistant to put any beta on my AirPods because it already has its buggy things already. I got to figure out that, every time I touch my phone, it's changing my AirPods while I'm on the show here this week, and that gets kind of frustrating. I don't want it to auto switch, so we got to come up with a better way of working on that auto fit switch feature. So. Anybody else have anything to add as far as beta goes? Jill, or have you done anything with it, or Marty?
I like the reminder having the alarm. That was kind of nice, because I'm trying to switch all my productivity apps back to Apple apps and get off of these subscriptions and start using them more. And I like that feature. So that was the only thing that really kind of I liked.
So yeah, let's that's about it with those. So hey, let's say hello to Ben Rathick. He's in the chat. How you doing, Ben? We've been missing you. We got to get you back on the show here soon. Hopefully next week, or we might be recording later after Thanksgiving. But great to see you. And he says that if only a beta could make them stay in my ears.
Yes. Oh,
yeah.
Third-party opportunity.
Third-party opportunity
right
there. Absolutely.
Which is
That's what chewing gum is for.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I've been doing it wrong.
That's right, chewing gum. So also released was macOS Tahoe 26.2. Beta 3. Not too much overly excitement in Tahoe. I didn't notice anything anyway. Jeff would sure like it to stop crashing on him all the time. Maybe
my God,
you
right?
might get lucky. You've just had the rotten luck with that Tahoe.
Yeah, this is straight up a dumpster fire for me. The crash report that I sent to Apple this morning, they basically get a crash report from me every morning now. In the crash report, I told them that I think it's time for me to set up a snippet that just says, went to wake up my computer this morning, found that it had crashed and rebooted at some point during the night.
Yeah,
because that's just basically how it goes. And earlier today, even after rebooting, just a few hours before, I had that cascading thing where all the RAM was suddenly eaten up, and my Mac had to pause every running app, had to force quit everything so that I could reboot. And now here we are. And after the show, I'll reboot again. And I bet in the morning I'll find that my Mac has crashed overnight. And yeah, I shake my fist at macOS Big Lake.
Anything
we need to get you a support group there.
Yeah,
I need a support group.
Anything you wanted to add, Marty, on beta for macOS?
No, I was talking before the show with Jill. I just don't run into these problems that everybody runs into.
Yeah, it seems it.
And I don't know if I'm cursed or what, but
you're probably better at using your technology than we are. That must be it.
Yeah.
No, definitely not it. I just do all the things people tell you not to do, like turn your computer off regularly.
Mine takes care of itself for that.
Yeah, I don't have that automation on my computer yet. I have to still do it manually.
But Jeff, what you described is exactly what happened to me this afternoon. Is one by one, the drive started disappearing. Then it was saying paused,
Yep.
and then eventually the machine rebooted. And I don't know what happened, but it was the first time in 5 years a Mac ever crashed on me.
Wow. I'm sorry you had to experience that. Also,
and I'm not on beta on this machine. This is released.
Yeah, I'm not on beta either for this.
Yeah.
I feel your pain.
So I haven't, believe it or not, on my production machine, I have not moved over yet, mainly because of some of Jeff's comments. But I've had a couple crashes recently as I've updated other apps to be supposedly compatible with Big Lake. And so I'm wondering if maybe the problem is not Big Lake, but maybe some third-party apps.
We should do a comparison, probably not on the show here, and look at the apps that we're both running, and let's look at not just the things that we're command tabbing between, but like what are the other things we have in our menu bar, and what cloud services are we regularly connected to, and see if we can find enough similarities to say maybe we should look at these things.
Yeah, just a thought, because it does seem like you're having a lot, and I'm not hearing that from other folks. So even the beta folks who are so prevalent.
Absolutely.
My MacBook Air has the beta on it and has never crashed. So
I want to point out that Matt or Chuck just totally froze up there right after saying that.
He did for a moment. Yeah.
Yep. My internet connection became unstable at right that moment.
Must have. All right.
Mazel tov.
No. Oh, you're funny.
Now I have to go sacrifice the chicken to the internet gods to say I'm sorry.
I thought this story was interesting, and I know I'm going to get some great insight from Jeff with this, but are the macOS 26 icons terrible objectively bad? With Apple's liquid glass design, language has been controversial to say the least, but it wasn't just the glass themed elements that were coming across here with that came under fire. One of macOS's Tahoe icons in particular came under fire. Apple's changing the Macintosh icon with its icon response. Everybody was, and I think we did talk about this before, but I want to more bring up the fact that, I don't like the fact that, like right now my GarageBand icon is not full. You got the little icon in a gray box. I mean, what's up with that? Ecamm finally fixed there, so that's a full icon, and it looks like Audio Hijack did as well. But there's still a number of apps out there who they hadn't changed their icons yet. And what's Apple waiting for? I know GarageBand is not as popular as it used to be, but you'd think they would update these. But why do you think, Jeff? Why are these icons looking so horrible?
How much time do we have for the show?
I'll give you 5 minutes.
Okay. I have a hypothesis, and my hypothesis is that there's no one left at Apple that's working on interface elements that was there when Apple actually knew how to do interface elements.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been seeing this progression away from Apple Human Interface Guidelines, which is a wonderful set of books that tell you everything you need to know about effectively making a quality interface that makes sense. Someone needs to go and buy these books and send them to Apple, because I don't think there's anyone there that even knows these books exist. Okay, so the whole thing with the icons, liquid glass in and of itself is not the problem here.
Mm-hmm.
It's the design of the icons themselves. They look like they are placeholder icons, generally speaking, not the actual finished icons you would include with your shipping product. They, for example, look at the removable drive icon. It looks like someone who is not a designer slap something together. It's trying to show depth, but it doesn't do it. You have this weird kind of skewed flat thing, and then a lot of the icons tell you absolutely nothing about what it represents. So one of the examples that I saw come up, and I agree with it completely. If you look at a bunch of the utility style apps that Apple has, they're basically gray boxes with a different shade of gray element inside. It might be an arrow. It might be like part of a wrench or something like that. What do these signify? They tell you nothing about what the app is or what it actually does. And they all look similar enough that you cannot quickly distinguish them from one another, especially if you have something in, say, like list view. That at that point, a lot of these icons are worthless. Also, the way Apple is forcing the square circle, what is it, squircle design onto developers, it's I appreciate. I don't agree with, but I appreciate what they're trying to do, which is give us a standardization of icons across all platforms. And on iPhone and iPad, that interface has been, I will call them chiclet icons.
Mm-hmm.
And so now they're enforcing that onto the Mac as well. The downside is that greatly restricts what developers do to distinguish their icons visually and representationally. Mm-hmm. And so we're getting exactly what you described, Dave, where you have an icon, in this case, Apple's own GarageBand application, that ends up squished into a squircle. And they don't look good. They look, like I said, like these are placeholder things. They no longer resemble what they're supposed to, and we've gone so far away from being able to distinguish an interface element that is a button versus an icon versus a descriptive component. Apple needs to take a step back, reread their human interface guideline series, and then come back with designers who actually know how to design these elements and let them do their job.
Yeah. All right.
Did I stay in 5 minutes?
You did. That was a great explanation.
Right.
Does anybody else have anything to add about the icons? I don't like them. I hope they fix them. Many, but it looks like most have fixed them. But go ahead.
Yeah, I've got about 5 minutes. No, seriously, I think it would be great if we had an interface where we could customize everything the way we like it. And then that means people who love Snow Leopard would never have to leave Snow Leopard and still run all the power of, hey, wait a minute, we do have an interface like that. It's called Android.
We used to have an interface like that called macOS.
I think change is tough.
It is.
I think some of this, I can't wait till the discussion about how terrible liquid glass is finally dies out, because it feels a bit like we're shouting at clouds.
Yeah.
Well, you do know the old joke of how many reviewers it takes to change a light bulb. 1 to change a light bulb and 5 to say they liked it better the old way.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
That is.
I think, all kidding aside, I think Jeff has some very pertinent, relevant comments.
Yeah.
I like what he says, but at the same time, I don't see Apple changing this.
No.
Nor
I
giving
agree
us the
with you, Marty.
granularity to change it. I think what they did with liquid glass, allowing us to do the shading on it, that's about as far as we're going to go.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that too. Yeah.
Hey, Jeff,
go ahead, John.
Yeah, go ahead.
Serious question.
Mhm.
Could you take the icons from the old icons that you like and paste them onto the new applications? Do applications allow you to change their icons?
You used to be able to do that. I have not tried changing an app icon for a long time. I do recall at some point in macOS 10, there were like a couple apps where changing the app icon would create some sort of mismatch where the app no longer validated with itself that it was what it was supposed to be and wouldn't work right. But honestly, I cannot remember what those apps were. And I think they were like some third-party thing. But
Okay.
I have not tried messing with the app icons actually in years. So I don't know. Maybe we could.
Give it a try. I mean, it might give you a whole new set of crashes to report to Apple.
You're right.
Yeah. So, all right, let's go and move on here. Occasionally I have a segment here about In Touch with AI. I thought it'd be kind of fun. There's been a lot of discussion, a lot of changing this past week with most of the big AI platforms. So I wanted to dive a little bit what happened this week. So OpenAI, aka ChatGPT, just released the GPT 5.1, which is the next generation AI model that powers ChatGPT. There's 2 versions of 5.1, including instant and thinking. Instant is a warmer, more intelligent, and better at following instructions, according to OpenAI, whereas thinking is more easier to understand, faster on simple tasks, and more persistent on complex tasks. OpenAI says that users can expect a more enjoyable communication experience, and with options more easily customized in ChatGPT's tone, where there's new presets by tone, including professional, candid, and quirky. We always like quirky. And by default, 5.1 is going to be instantly warmer, more playful. And it's, there's been some changes. I've noticed a little bit of the quirkiness, but not much. Marty, you use it as much, if not more, than I do. But have you noticed any of the differences on 5.1?
Oh, yeah. And I've noticed them, I think, for a while, because I generally put complicated projects in it, and I get a little frustrated because it seems like it's taking so long. Some of that's improved in terms of speed, but and sometimes do you want a nice quick answer to this, or do you want me to think about it for a long time? And it's like, No, please think about it for a long time because I'm afraid of your nice, quick answers. I also noticed today that there is some variation that's for coders
Okay.
that I think this is kind of an example of ChatGPT trying to diversify to meet some of its users. Like people who do Google searches typically, they're going to just do the nice, quick, easy, faster way of doing it. People who are doing complicated projects and want output are going to probably use the process where they want where you're directing it to spend more time with it. And then I think they're trying to get maybe at some of their competition in terms of improving the coding capabilities of it and becoming it a place for folks to vibe code with or to check code that they have.
Yeah. Chuck, have you tried any of these the new tools? Anything that you noticed with the 5.1?
I thought 5.1. I can't decide whether it's objective or subjective, whether I think it might be getting just a little less repetitive. I felt like I was starting to recognize some of the same phrasing when I was giving it things to do and I was getting things back. And I feel like that went away or at least got greatly reduced with 5.1. I mean, I can't, I didn't run tests side by side, but I will say this, I haven't seen anything that I didn't like in 5.1. So, is it better? Maybe a little. Is it worse? Not that I can tell.
Okay. Jeff and Eric or Jill, are you using much in ChatGPT that you could comment?
A little bit. It's all right. So first, my observation. I find it fascinating that the companies making these LLMs are putting in the energy to make it easier for us as users to anthropomorphize their tool. And that's a big part of what happened with this update. For me, I don't want my tools to be a personality. I want them to just perform the function, be a tool. I don't need to pretend you're a person. So that said, the way that I use tools like ChatGPT, I'm not seeing a big difference in the way that the responses are being presented to me. Sometimes there'll be a little bit more, or no, a very subtle change in the way it starts off the response, where it sounds slightly more conversational. But for the most part, I'm not seeing a big difference. But then again, like I said, the way I use these tools probably doesn't fit the way the majority of people are.
Yeah.
Jeff or anybody, have you seen where it gives you a response, basically 2 columns, and says, do you prefer this response or do you prefer this response?
Yes.
I see those, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I haven't seen it in 5.1 yet, Marty. I've only seen that in 5. Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I've been using 5.1 and I switched mine over to nerdy instead of friendly because that's kind of more what I'm looking for.
I want to be nerdy instead of friendly.
Yeah. Yep. And
dear
like
ChatGPT, talk nerdy to me.
Talk nerdy to me. Yes. That's what I asked. And I really like it. My friend who is not nerdy really likes its chattiness of it. And she actually likes its personality of it. And I hate to say I do too. I wish I wanted a tool, and now I'm finding myself really enjoying it. Although I do worry about the American Idol effect. Oh, you're great. You're wonderful. This is a great idea. You should totally run with this. And I'm like, really? Or are you just chatting me up here?
All right. You lured me into asking ChatGPT to talk nerdy to me, and it said, "Oh, you want to talk? You want nerd mode engaged? Hold my USB-C cable."
Should we even be saying
they want to
that
do
in a
some
public
nerdy
space?
dancing? Is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is getting terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible. I think I should probably move on from this.
Nobody puts USB in the corner.
No, they don't. All right, here we go. Google did launch its new intelligent Gemini 3 model. They announced Google Gemini 3 Pro, its newest and most intelligent AI model. Google says that that Gemini offers state-of-the-art reasoning and able to understand depth and nuance. It's also better at understanding the content, intent behind the request for more relevant answers. According to Google, Gemini 3 is the best model in the world. Of course, they're going to say that for multimodal understanding, outperforming 2.5, and so on and so on. I use, when I'm searching something through Google, and of course, Gemini is going to always come up with some AI based answers. I use it. I find it sometimes good, sometimes bad. Anybody have any thoughts of when they've ever used Gemini that you notice any real difference?
If Gemini is so damned intuitive, it should know that every time I start a project, I don't need an advertisement for Gemini and how it can help me.
Yeah, exactly. Anyone else have a comment on that?
It's good. I mean, it's really good, but I have $20 a month I'm willing to spend on an AI, and I'm going to vote with that, and it's always going to be ChatGPT at this point.
Absolutely. Anybody else? I will go ahead and move on here, unless you have something, Chuck.
No. I mean, I've tried Gemini. I don't find it necessarily any better than ChatGPT, and I'm a little more comfortable giving any information to ChatGPT than I am to Google. So that's a personal thing.
Right. And God forbid Microsoft for you.
I wasn't going to bring it up. You brought it up.
I know.
That's on you.
It's okay.
You brought it up.
Unfortunately, I have to know Copilot. It's in my job. I have to do it.
Oh,
so
you have an excuse. Yeah.
I do have an excuse, but Copilot's been fine. So I won't go down that rabbit hole for debate for that. But also, Google announced its own version of Apple's private cloud compute. They announced a private AI compute, which is a new cloud-based system designed to deliver AI capabilities using its Gemini models while maintaining strict data privacy controls, a framework that closely parallels Apple's own private cloud compute technology. According to Google, the service enables AI tasks that exceed the processing capacity of local hardware and to be handled securely in the cloud without exposing personal data into the company's third parties. And, it goes on and on about that. I mean, I think this is kind of going to be a little bit of a wave for a lot of folks here. And I'm hearing on the news now that our electric grid is starting to have a problem and people losing power because all these AI servers are being spun up, and I see data centers are opening up like crazy in my area and everywhere else around the country here and around the world for that matter. So I wouldn't be surprised if this becomes more of a thing than just Google doing it as they announced this week. So anybody have any thoughts on that?
I'm glad Google is letting us know that they're not going to let any of our information in this new system be accessed by other companies until they're ready to sell it to them.
One thing that did hit me, Dave, because I'm looking at this article, I don't see any dates where this is going to become available.
Yeah.
And I guess it was last week. Was it this week or last week? I've lost track. When we had the announcement that Apple may be or is spending like $1 billion with Google to do something with Gemini in relation to the S Lady.
Right.
And, I just wonder, okay, who's scratching who's back with what? Is this part of a partnership that's going to now be a little more two-way than it's been up to this point? As far as, because I agree with Marty completely on my skepticism about privacy, but it just seems, that okay, all of a sudden they have a private cloud compute thing that Apple seems to have more or less perfected, or at least it seems to be working well, and now all of a sudden Google has it.
Yeah.
So,
what's the business model for this? And And I'm asking that, not expecting anyone to have the answer, because Google's business model is to exploit data.
Mm.
So how do they do that in a system where the information is kept private and they presumably don't have access to it? And the business model that I can see is something where they've spun this up so that they have this working system, and then they sell it to companies like Apple that want to have something that they can use as part of the S Lady and their overall AI efforts, but still keep everything private.
Yeah, I think that what Apple is purchasing from Google is a framework on how to do this. And while we're still making our S Lady cake, we're going to get your ingredients, figure out how to do it. Thank you. Here's $1 billion. And then they will be putting it on their own server farms. And it'll be uniquely Apple and be protective of clients of people's information. I think they're just buying the recipe. I don't think they're selling the data.
It wouldn't surprise me if that's correct.
Yeah, I have to say, though, that I think it's an important step, because there's an awful lot of companies that have data that they can't allow to go anywhere. So having some mechanism to be able to isolate the queries and yet still have it go through their models, I think, is going to be more and more important. It wouldn't surprise me if at some point they come up with some sort of system where ads can get inserted without ever needing to know the data. It's still private for the company, but hey, here's this other thing based on your query that we can't see, but who knows?
Yeah.
Is anonymized data of any value? Just to know lots of people went to this site or whatever.
Good for
without
training.
tagging. What? I'm sorry,
Good
Jill.
for training,
Okay.
I guess.
And it might be useful to say that, we have a bunch of people here that drive Hondas rather than General Motors, or that they prefer Coke over Pepsi, or, something like that, to attract a specific class of advertisers.
Yeah. All right. Let's this was kind of more of a funny thing than anything else with Apple Intelligence, because everything is kind of funny with Apple Intelligence lately, only because it's not ready yet, basically. So Apple apparently was too smart for the M1 Max after a listing error. Apple's website was causing some confusion among Mac owners, but for good reason. Its device compatibility list for Apple Intelligence appeared to have dropped support for M1 Max, which makes absolutely no sense. You look at the M2 was it was at M2 and higher. I mean, that does not make any sense. Well, it took them a day to finally correct this, and apparently the device compatibility list now shows that having the M1, so a little crazy. This was the Apple Intelligence webpage, so if you go to the page now, it now shows it at the bottom, because they have a section just on Apple Intelligence. You go there now, and it does say M1 or later. So, of course, even the iPad Air said M2, I think it as well. So it was a bit of a snafu there when it comes to that. So, and discussion of Apple Intelligence, it still has a bit of ways to go before it's anywhere near as robust as it should be here. So, anybody want to add any comments on that?
Yeah, this is all blamed on the Vision Pro.
That's right.
Because that's why it happened. Because there was only an M2. There was never an M1. And
that's true.
When they updated the notes for the M5, it was like, well, M2 and higher. And then somebody just extrapolated that and didn't even think that there's a special case.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they fixed it.
Yeah.
I thought this is what Apple got for letting Gemini write the copy for the webpage.
That's right. Oh gosh. Yes. So other topic, Oh, there's been lots of discussion about adding in the United States driver's license to your to the wallet app. And finally, it's happened. One of the larger states in the United States, my home state of Illinois, added it this week on Wednesday, yesterday as we record this. And it's on the iPhone and the Apple Watch. It's a very convenient and contactless way of proof of identity. And I think, Marty, you have it in your state, and Jeff, you have it in your state. Kind of funny what happened with Illinois. They were advertising like crazy. Our Secretary of State came up and did a huge press conference, and spouting how great it is. I was glad to see it because our Secretary of State, we had the previous Secretary of State was in his position for almost 24 years, so a lot of technology kind of stalled, in my opinion, the way they handled things here. But it was cool to see, and it installed. Slightly slow, though. It's going to be available to be used at Chicago's O'Hare Airport as well as at Midway Airport, as well as it's going to be allowed to be used at the Lambert Airport in St. Louis because, of course, Illinois and Missouri border each other, and there's a lot of big cities that are not too far from the St. Louis Airport. So that's kind of cool. They're doing that as well. So I went in that morning and on Wednesday morning because I was waiting, and it took a little bit to appear, and I go in and it says, "Oh, you're going to have to wait. We'll notify you when it's ready." So obviously the servers were getting hit pretty hard yesterday. Took till about the 1 p.m. in the afternoon until I got an email saying that, oh, it's ready to start, and then I went through it, and it finally did its thing. So it does pop up as this picture shows in the article here of from the Illinois Secretary of State, and you can learn more. It gives you that information. So I don't, but that's the thing is, you'll be able to use it through TSA. So I don't want to be too much of a challenge. Interestingly enough, when you go into the more info, it tells you how old you are, which is kind of interesting. So if you go under the card information, has my full legal name, my address, my date of birth, and then it says how old I am, and all my stats, height and weight, height, and then eye and hair color, and the ID information. So your driver's license number's in there. So, and then of course it's digital. So of course it picks up my really crappy picture from my driver's license too, because you have to scan it. But it was kind of cool to see that this finally got added to us. I know more states are coming. Marty or Jeff, did you experience anything similar to that when you guys got it?
No, when I did it, had to install the app from Colorado to do the whole setup thing, and then it puts the ID into Apple Wallet, which was weird. They didn't need to do it that way, but there you go. And just so you know, since O'Hare was already supporting digital IDs,
right.
when I've gone through, when I went through O'Hare back in July, worked just as it should. I did have to show the TSA guy what I was doing because he didn't seem knowledgeable. And I'm like, no, look, I just look on your computer screen. You can see that I just let it scan my ID.
Yeah.
And but then once I did that, he's like, oh, okay.
Yep.
Presumably, they all have a much better understanding now of the system that they've been using for years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything you wanted to add, Marty, with in your state?
I didn't have the issues with this that Jeff had in terms of having to go to a separate app. And it seemed to go pretty smoothly. I don't think when they rolled it out in Ohio, although being kind of a large state, it didn't get there hasn't been the momentum wasn't there yet. There were only a couple of states that were doing it. And now with it just rolling out with Illinois, you already have a backlog. So I think the word's getting around. And so maybe that's why you had such a backlog on your servers, or like you said, your Secretary of State didn't keep up with the servers that were needed in order to make that connection, and it made it slower there.
Very possible.
Yeah, Marty, the difference between you and me for the setup might be because Colorado was one of the early adopter states.
Right.
Yeah.
And so they may have had to do it differently just because they were one of the first.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm trying to decide if I'm more mad that we seem to be intending to be the last state that does this, or that Illinois did it first. And I'm pretty sure it's that Illinois did it first.
Yeah. Yeah. So
we could do our passport.
yeah, I was going to mention that. But I did my digital ID for my passport. It worked pretty well. I had to take the pictures of it the second time, scanning it, because it's kind of cool. You in your passport, you actually put the phone in. It's got the chip in there, so it just scans it to see that's an actual physical passport, and then you take a scan image of the with your photo on it, and yeah, it added pretty quickly. And anybody in the United States can add that, and that can be used as your means of ID when you travel as well. So, but go ahead.
I was going to say Eric kind of led the way, and then you and I both got into text messaging to then add it. And then at the end, I was confused because, like, did it get my name wrong? These things, and I think you can see it in the link with the ad from the Illinois one.
Right.
They do your first name and your last initial. And I was like, they didn't even get my last name right. And it's sort of like, I think there's a reason for that.
Well, actually, for me, if you look at my ID, it's got my first name and my full middle name, and my
me too.
So,
me too.
Yeah. So, any other comments about this? I will mention other states that are in the future. That's Connecticut, Kentucky, Mississippi, Oklahoma, Utah, and then participating airports. There's just a various amount of them. A lot of the big airports. Interestingly enough, I don't see New York mentioned. So that's a pretty...
the list that Mac Rumors has.
Is that old?
It has to be old.
Yeah, I was going to think.
Because there's a lot of airports on the list.
There's got to be, especially New York.
That are not on their list.
Yeah, okay. So thanks.
My question about this is, with these kinds of digital IDs, if I put it on my phone, my one phone, will it show up automatically on my other phone? And it doesn't. Eric's saying it doesn't.
Nope. You have to set it up on each device the same way if you get a new device and go to set up your credit cards. You have to set, because it's on the device.
Right. The device authorized it and verified it. So, and as it turns out, there are a couple other states I mentioned. Arkansas and Virginia are looking to do it as well. So, your state's coming soon, maybe, Chuck. I don't know.
I'll let you know. I'm not optimistic.
Yeah.
For listeners, it took about 2 hours, hour and a half for the digital passport to be processed.
Yeah, it took me a bit of time too. So,
and you still have to carry your passport, and if you go outside of the country, you can't use the digital one.
Yeah, that's right. All right, a couple more things here. This was a interesting story about the iPhone 16, the 17 versus the 16 in Wi-Fi speeds, and the study that was done. It was a new study that had revealed that the 17 Pro, and the 17 Pro Max and iPhone Air achieved significantly faster average Wi-Fi speeds compared to the 16 series. Apple's custom designed N1 chip is really the thing that is all about it. It was connected by Okla and then the company behind the popular speed test website app. So it has a grid here, shows quite a the differences between each country. Looks like France, boy, they got some pretty fast speeds there on average Wi-Fi gain. So, but the US was right up there as well, and across the rest of the world. But yeah, the comparisons in France, let's go 467, almost 468 megabit speeds versus the 17, which was almost 600. With Wi-Fi. So some interesting results here. And even they show the versus the Pixel 10 is iPhone's much faster than the Pixel 10 versus this the 17 was the family was slightly slower, but not much. I thought this was an interesting report. I don't know if anybody has any comments on this.
Yeah, I'm surprised South Korea isn't on here. Now, it might be they just did not take the data from them, but South Korea is notorious for having a really large infrastructure built around Wi-Fi. And the country, runs really well on it, and really good high-speed bandwidth for folks. So again, I'm surprised that country did. It could be that people who did the study just didn't have access to it.
Yeah. So let's go on and move on to some of the news stories this week. There was some big announcements from MLB, Major League Baseball. They did sign a big contract with ESPN and Netflix, and they're going to be showing a lot of stuff. And there were rumors about the fact that potentially Apple was going to lose the Friday night Major League Baseball games in 2026, but they are going to be keeping it for sure from 26 to 28 seasons. And MLB did confirm that, but they have established agreements with both ESPN, Netflix, and NBC Universal. So you're going to be seeing the games, baseball games, back on NBC again after all these years. I think it was like 25 years since it left NBC. So it's definitely, as I always talk about, the streaming wars continue. Streaming that changes. We talked about YouTube TV finally got an agreement with Disney to get the Disney and all of their ESPN channels back on the YouTube TV. So I guess sports will continue to evolve and be able to get these services as they go here. And you're going to see these big lucrative contracts continue to happen here. So anybody have any comments on this?
I was thinking about it more like over the time period, that maybe this is the best way that it goes, where Apple buys this sport and Peacock buys the sport. And maybe because everyone's scattered all over the place, and I just can't imagine being a sports fan right now and what a mess it is. And maybe this is the answer: is everyone just buys a sport.
Yeah. And then other story I wanted to talk about here is iPhone users can now, strangely enough, be able to use AirDrop files to Android devices. Google announced this. This was today as we record, a new cross-platform feature that allows the file sharing between iPhone and Android users. With AirDrop on the iPhone and Quick Share on the Pixel 10 devices, there is a new file transfer function available. The file sharing option works on Apple devices, including iPhone, iPad, and the Mac, along with the Pixel 10 and the Pixel 10 Pro, the Pixel 10 Pro XL, as well as the 10 Fold. According to Google, Apple device users will need to change their AirDrop visibility to everyone for 10 minutes in order for it to accept a file transfer. And I wonder if Apple's going to block this. You got to wonder, because there was another article about that as well. I want to try this because I do have the Pixel 10, and I would like to see if that does it. Anybody have any thoughts about this? I like this because there's plenty people have friends. We have some friends maybe that have Android. Then obviously this is specifically to the Pixel 10. But anybody have any thoughts on this, Jeff?
I think that Apple's going to shut this down, but they're not going to say they're shutting it down. My guess is that Apple's going to look what Google's doing, and they're going to look at it as a security hole, and they're going to patch their security hole, and then it'll just stop working, and then Google will have to re-engineer and find a new way to work around what Apple's doing. So it'll probably work for a little bit, but I would expect that there will be a software update soon where it just stops.
Okay. Chuck?
I thought I read an article that this was sort of pushed because of some of the EU regulations and trying to give more people a more even playing field. So I wonder how much Apple can block it without potentially incurring their wrath, or whether it can be blocked on a geographic basis. But one way or another, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's okay. I guess I can envision some times when there are things I might want to airdrop to someone that that has an Android, or haven't helped me have somebody with an Android airdrop something to me.
Yeah.
But I feel like maybe I'm just way too paranoid. Maybe I've had too much of the Kool-Aid, but I would be really paranoid about somebody sending me anything. It's bad enough. We've seen some things like people had wide open airdrops and were being sent things on planes.
Yeah.
And so, I'm not sure that this is a good idea, or if it is, that I'm hoping Apple will give us some more granularity on what I can or should be allowed to accept or send.
Marty, any thoughts?
I'm confused by the whole thing. It seems like it's to follow Jeff's suggestion that Apple won't stop it; they'll just break it.
Yeah,
and then it's not like, oh, we didn't stop it; we stopped something. We upgraded our software, and that broke that possibility. So
yeah, and if Apple wasn't involved in this, then it's very easy to have plausible deniability because they're not part of the process. If they were, then when they would do an update, they would coordinate with whoever else is allowed to use whatever system they have in place. Which could mean at that point everything just keeps working, or those third-party companies would then have to update their software to stay in sync with whatever Apple's doing. But yeah, Apple's not involved. It's not going to keep working.
I have this feeling we'll be reporting this next week that it's already shut off. Any other comments? All right. Well, I think we've hit the time here where it's time to wrap up. This was such a great show. It's so great to see everybody in the chat. And great to see Ben, great to see Witherbucket, Webb, and all the other folks that I'm missing. Brian F was there as well. So thanks for joining us. But let's go ahead and wrap up. That's a wrap for this week. Please send your comments, questions, suggestions to our email address, which is feedback@intouchwithios.com. You can follow us on Blue Sky and Mastodon at intouchwithios. Support the show. Buy me a coffee at intouchwithios.com/coffee. We'd really appreciate it. You can become a patron of the show by going to patreon.com/intouchwithios. We have 2 tiers available to support the show. We would really appreciate it. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe when you're notified when we are live streaming on Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/intouchwithios, where you can watch the current and past live streams as well as listen to past shows. You can subscribe to the show in your favorite podcatcher, including a Pocket Cast, Overcast, Apple Podcasts, many others, but better yet, just go to our website, intouchwithios.com. All the ways to listen to us is out there on that site. I am Dave Ginsburg. You can find me on Blue Sky and Mastodon at DaveG65. And let's change the order here. Jeff Gamet, thank you so much for being here this week, as you always are. Where can people find you?
Well, Dave, excuse me. Look, I'm all choked up because I get to be here with you. It's always wonderful to be here. All right, so people can find me on social media, Jay Gamet, on pretty much everything. And I'm most active on Mastodon, Blue Sky, and PixelFed. Then for shows, Chuck lets me join in on Mac Voices Live on Tuesdays. Here I am with you on In Touch with iOS on Thursdays. Thank you to both of you. Then on the British Tech Network, The Big Show and The Mac Show. Also, Brian Chaffin and I do The Context Machine, and Patrice Brendamore and I do Retro Rewatch.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Appreciate it. Eric Bolden, thank you for being here and doing a great job teaching Jill how to use a Vision Pro. Where can people find you?
I can be found, in various coffee shops looking for people willing to demo. Otherwise, on Mastodon at eabolden at mas.to. Mondays, of course, on Vision Profiles, covering all our visionOS stuff. Tuesdays on Mac Voices Live, covering Mac and other news. And then, of course, Thursdays, rounding up the week, basically hitting all of the OSs, the rest of the news, getting, so we'll be all set for the weekend.
Absolutely.
On the In Touch with iOS.
Well, thanks so much, Eric, always for being here. Chuck Joyner, so happy you were able to come back and see us this week. Where can people find you?
MacVoices.com is where you'll find everything. We have started our annual gift guide series. Some of the members of this panel have been on. Some have not been scheduled yet or have our schedules line up yet, but I'm hoping to get everybody here and a whole lot more on. Yeah. So come on over there and check those out. Tuesday nights on YouTube at youtube.com/MacVoicesTV. We do the live show, and you can participate with us in the chat. And on all the socials, you can find me as at Chuck Joyner. Thanks, Dave, as always.
Thank you. Jill McKinley, thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Where can people find you?
Well, the truth of the matter is that I didn't know that Eric was going to be at the coffee shop, and there he was. And so then he just said, well, you have like a couple of hours.
A coincidence.
Well, okay,
kind of sad.
Yeah.
Kind of sad when you think about
it. Poor Eric just sitting there.
Just sitting there hoping
they kick him out at closing.
Someone please come in.
Yeah.
They kick him out at closing, and he's standing outside the door before they even open up in the morning.
It was mostly kind to say, like, you don't have to do this in midair. You can just do this under the table.
Yeah, but I waited for a while before I said that.
Right. You can find me at jillfromthenorthwoods.com. That's where I have all my podcasts and how you can reach me if you want to reach me. And I have pretty much podcasts every day of the week.
Great. Thank you, Jill. Last but certainly not least, Marty Jensen, it's always a pleasure having you and your great support of the show and others. Where can people find you?
Well, the show's Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on youtube.com/@visionprofiles for the Vision Profile live stream. You can pick that up other ways too, and also the audio. Tuesday night with Chuck on Mac Voices. That's great fun. And then Thursday nights here with In Touch with iOS. And all the other stuff, the other shows that I do, and you can find at thepodtalk.net. That's the website which will connect you to the other podcasts that might be of interest to you. I'm Jencius, Jencius, at mastodon.social or the same at Blue Sky.
All right. Thanks so much, Marty. And thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining in with us at the YouTube chat. And programming note, where it is Thanksgiving in the United States next week. So obviously we're not recording on Thursdays. We're probably going to record Friday afternoon. We'll see if I can twist the panel here to be here. We'll schedule something, but we aren't going to miss next week. We always like to be here. But until then, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And we'll talk again soon.